Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So this is actually a continued video of my previous video where I did soil blocking. I wintered sowed some seeds. So if you haven't checked that video, go check it after you watch this one. So let me catch you up a little bit. So basically what I have is a container of some soil, and I'm going to give you the ingredients. It is 16 cups of sifted peat moss or cocoa fiber. You can just use any type of seed starting mix. And then I have 4 cups of sifted compost, green sand or rock phosphate powder. Phosphate is good for root growth. And then you want 6 to 7 cups of water. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share to you that you kind of want soil that is kind of pliable, workable. So it's going to clump up and it will release maybe a little bit of moisture, like it will drip a little bit, but you don't want it like crumbly either. You don't want it too dry or you don't want it too damp. And I would suggest, one, it's going to be a little bit more comfortable for your hands, but to use very like hot or maybe even, I wouldn't say boiling water, but very hot water. And best way to mix it is, best tools you have are your hands. And so anyway, the hot water will actually sterilize your nice soil here. So I want to do this. So this method I want to do today is, instead of the soil blocker, I'm going to use what I did last year. I'm going to use my 40 count 1-inch cells. Okay, so let me show you what kind of consistency you want. I want to make this into a ball. Okay, and it stays, and then, it releases a little bit of moisture, and it doesn't like crumble. Let me show you what the cell blocks look like. Right here, and it has little drainage holes, and then it has another tray to put that into. Okay, so I'm just gonna, what I do, I like to put it in the container with all of my soil, and I just place it in there and kind of rock it in there. And then after this is all full, I will poke around to make sure there's no air pockets. So the main difference between a cell blocker and the cell trays, one I'm about to show you. So the last video I did a lot of surface sowing with my plants, like Crispedia and some herbs like basil, lemongrass, stuff like that. And they're very, very small. Did some grasses. They're very small. And so these that I'm about to do, I'm going to do some moonflowers, butterfly pea flower, and some dahlias. And these are really, really big seeds. So the cell blocks, they are very little. This will provide a little bit more room for them to grow into. It's kind of like when you start sunflowers, they're kind of bigger seeds. So you probably want a little bit bigger area for them to grow into. So they're all filled, and so I'm just going to put it in this tray. We have one good tray. Now they're ready to be seeded. All right, so before I begin, I want to show you what we're planting today. This is a moonflower. Look how beautiful it is. It's in the morning glory family. These will bloom or like open up at night and provide a very aromatic and beautiful fragrance. So I'm really excited about those. And these are what the seeds look like. So you're probably wondering, well, what are they doing in this little shot glass with water? So these, kind of like I did last year, my nasturtiums, these have a very hard outer shell. And so what this water does is just want to soften it. And then what you need to do is, the term is scarify. And so you can either have a file or some fingernail clippers, and I'll go through with you the process, but you're going to kind of rough up that outer shell just a little bit, and then or nick it, and then that will improve your germination rate. The next two flowers are two different varieties. Butterfly pea flower. And like I said in the other video, I'm a big tea drinker. So I'm really excited. These are also vines, but I'm really excited to grow these. And one, they're beautiful. I love blue. Blue is kind of a rare color in the garden, but they will, I want to harvest and dry out the flowers so I can make my own tea. And likewise, they're also in water, and I will scarify these as well. And the next going to be sowing is my dahlias, and this is the Unwinds mix. And they are a little bit bigger seeds as well, and I think they just go 1/8 of an inch deep. So this will sprout in 7 to 14 days, and it gets 8 to 12 hours of full sun. I didn't tell you. These get 6 to 12 hours as well, and I'm sure the moonflowers 6 to 12 full. So let's get started. So we have our 40 cell count tray, and I'm just going to pick one out of here. This one has kind of busted open already, so I'm going to just plop this in here. I'm going to see how deep these go. 1/4 to 1/2 inch. So they want to be completely covered. There's that. And I've been soaking these for overnight, 24 hours. Yeah, you can already tell these have busted open a little bit, so I don't even have to probably scarify these at all. See, I'll show you how I do this. I just get some fingernail clippers, and I'll just make a little bit of a nick in there. Yeah. See? You can kind of see the shell on it. It's kind of like skin. Kind of like a peanut. Not the shell, but like the outer layer of the peanut. I'm actually going to get my little dabber too. This will help me push in the seed into the soil. And like I said, the other method is just to take a fingernail file and file it down a little bit, and it will expose the inside of the seed. I can tell these are going to do really good. Usually when you soak them 24 hours, they'll be just fine. That in itself will improve the germination rate. I just find like the fingernail clippers, just like that, I think I like it better than the file. I want to do 10 of these, and the next thing you need is some tape or like a plant tag. I'll probably use the plant tags for these, so you know what you planted. Because trust me, you'll forget. All right, so I'm just going to move along with my moonflowers. I'm probably going to end up doing, I think there's 10 and 20. So I'll probably end up actually doing a couple more trays. So I will be back after I finish some sewing. All right, so just finished planting my moonflowers. While I'm at it, I want to share to you that my friend that is also a really talented gardener, he grows moonflowers, and he gave me a whole bag of these basically seed pods. These are all moonflowers, and that's what they look like. So I'm going to bust a couple open for y'all. I've never done this before. Open it up, and there's the seeds. How cool. Wow. This is what it looks like kind of inside. Whoa. Oh my goodness. So it kind of looks like like tomato seeds maybe. You know, gardening, it's, you know, some of it can be trial and error. Hopefully more trial and learning than error. But I wanna, where did that go? I'm gonna file one. They're a lot smaller than the other ones. I guess they're different varieties. Let me get a close up so it'll show you what you're doing. Alright, see, there's the seed. Okay, you can kind of see that. So I'm going to just take my fingernail and go at an angle. And so there's like a little slit in there. Put that there. And then, like I always say, put these in there and then wait till they come up and pray. Alright, so I have 25 moonflowers. Who wants a moonflower? Because I'm probably going to have extra. We're going to tag these before I forget. Moonflower, giant moonflower. I'll just do giant moonflower. I'm going to put this right in the corner. That way the humidity dome will fit in there. And then we'll go ahead and put BP for butterfly pea. And then just do the variety. Yeah, that there. All right, so let's see. Bring these over here. Now, does this say to scarify these? Yep, it says scarify and soak overnight. So these a ½ inch deep, just like the other ones. Clitoria ternatia. That's so pretty. All right, so I'm going to do 15 of these, and then I will be right back. Another thing that is really imperative in this process is to keep the soil moist or damp. So what I'm going to do, these are humidity domes, and it comes with these little tabs or whatever, and it can like kind of, it's a ventilation, so you can like close it and open it. And I'm going to put that on here, and I usually just close them. And put it down in there. Put it on there. And that way, once I start seeing a little bit of green growth, I'm going to turn on my lights. I have a plant stand, and I'll show you this process. And then usually during this time, every day, maybe twice a day, I have a spray bottle, and I'll just mist the top. You just want to make sure the soil does not dry out. And then another thing, when I do start seeing growth, I will lift these trays up a little bit and water from underneath, because if you spray from on the top, it's going to promote moss and bacteria and fungi growth. And you don't want that, because it's going to steal the nutrients from the soil. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Another thing, when you start seeing growth and you start watering from the top, another good practice is maybe 2 to 3 times a week, you can get this fish fertilizer. And it's 5-1-1, which means NPK is nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium. So why you want not nitrogen, like I said, phosphate earlier, is good for your root growth. So the seed has germinated, it's done all it's going to do. Now what you want, the nitrogen, is going to promote upper growth, the green growth, to make stronger stems and leaves. The first leaves are cotyledons, and those are your babies. And then your potassium, think of bananas, potassium, that will help with fruiting and flower. So that's what NPK does. That's what those nutrients do. Then you can read the ratio of what you need. And then if you want to go a little bit further to make a stronger cambium layer around the stem of a plant, you can put a fan, and that will mimic the wind. And that way, when they actually go out there and you plant them outside, they'll be used to a little bit of resistance. So there's that. So I'm going to go ahead and make another soil tray. I'm just going to add the soil to the trays, and then we'll plant the rest of the butterfly pea flower and then the rest of the dahlias. I'm just going to go ahead and pre-hole these. So let's talk a little bit about why you'd even want to do this. I talk about it a little bit in my last video. One, it's going to save a bunch of money. Just think when you go to your favorite garden center or you order online, an average plant is going to cost about $10. Think this butterfly pea flower came with 15 to 20 seeds, and it was about $4. Just because this is kind of a specialty seed also, you can get them as cheap as, probably $2 or $3. And the average cost of I wouldn't even say a mature plant, maybe even a pint size or whatever, average is $10. So let's just do a little bit of the math. So this is a 40 count cell tray. So if you do 40 times 10, that's $400 that you're essentially saving, other than the material that you're using. And so I'm using some compost. I know about what I'm using is around 20 to 30 bucks, give or take. So you're definitely saving a lot of money. And that in itself is very encouraging to want to do this. And another thing, it's very rewarding to say that this little tiny seed is going to eventually provide me with some beautiful tea at night. You can do that with, your favorite herbs. If you cook, you can do some basil if you like caprese salads. I know I'm going to also grow lemon balm with this, just because I love lemon flavoring in my tea. If you like, like I said, caprese, if you want to grow tomato plant, you can grow tomatoes. It's just very rewarding. Always, I'm reminded about, how a little seed can grow a mighty oak. It's just phenomenal. Color grays. Alright, so I just sowed my last butterfly pea flower, and I just thought, it just came to me, probably not a lot of people think about. So when you buy a seed pack and you sow it and it grows and it provides the flower, well, guess what? You will never have to buy those seeds again. And here's why. Because those same flowers will provide more seed. So it's the gift that gives on giving. So you only have to buy, if you really like a flower, you only have to, dahlias are a little bit different. I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, my thing is, you only have to buy a seed pack once, because you can harvest the seed from the flower in the end of the year. And then that way you don't have to buy it. You'll have seed from, that season. Isn't that cool? So you definitely save a lot of your bang for your buck. So like I said, it's very important to, I'm just going to put BP for butterfly pea, and then I'm just going to write the Thai blue, the variety. And we ended up with a perfect amount, 20. We'll put that in the corner. And then let's get to the dahlias. So that's why I was a little bit different. If you watched the last video, those had to be soaked overnight, the main thing, and then scarified, which you can either file a little bit of that outer shell or you can nip them with fingernail clippers, just very little, just so it kind of exposes the inner and it just helps the germination rate. So we got that. Oh, I'm growing an onion. I'm trying to get it to grow some chives, some green onion for me. That's what that's doing. Okay, so let's get to the dahlias, the unwound mix. So these are a little bit different. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Glad you're here. Second is, last year I grew caladiums, which I bought from the store. Have calla lilies I bought from the store, and canna lilies, which I had from the previous season. But I harvested all of the tubers from those. So these dahlias, they're in seed form right now, but at the end of the season, like, fall, leading into winter, probably October, November, when it's time to put the garden to bed, essentially, these will have tubers that I can harvest, overwinterize, plant the tubers, and they'll come up again for me next year. So that's why it's a little bit different from those. Those will have seeds. They'll just have roots. All right, so let's get into this. If you're liking this video, give it a like, comment, and subscribe. I want to talk to you. So I think we have 25 here. And these are pretty big. So these go 1/8 of an inch. So just very little. I'm going to go ahead and write this too. That way I know where to start and I don't get into my butterfly flower. And that is that. And like the final thing I'll have to do, this soil is pretty damp. So I'm not going to have to worry about spraying this with a squirt bottle. I will tomorrow afternoon, I'm sure. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So please do not feel overwhelmed. If you do, I could recommend something. If you don't feel like indoor sowing, maybe, I don't know where you are. I'm in Tennessee, zone 7B, but my last frost date is April 15th or 14th. I don't know, mid-April. And what you could do, you could go, I really like American Meadow. They're a good company, and I've had good experience from them, good business online and through their actual product. And you can direct sow. They have a lot of different mixes on there. Like this year, I'm going to do a butterfly mix, and it comes with like milkweed and just a lot of stuff that's pollinator friendly for hummingbirds, butterflies, bees. You can just haphazardly throw them in an area in your, you can do like the no-till method, put some cardboard down, compost topsoil, and then just throw it on there and it will come up. And I think that will encourage you to grow a plant from seed. You can start off there, start easy, but I'm just going to put the humidity dome on there, put it under my grow light. I'll probably, wait maybe another week for them to start growing. But yeah, and I will keep you posted on my growth. I have a little bit. That's pretty much it for this month. I will be growing a lot of gourds like pumpkins, squash, cucumbers. I'm going to do sunflowers this year, some marigolds, but I'm going to hold off a little bit. This is winter sowing, so in maybe in a month or so, I will do some more. So I hope you like this video, and I will catch you on the next one. Let me just show you. So this is just what we did. The cell trays, and each one is 1 inch, but there's 40 cells, so there's 80. Okay, these are the cell blocks. There's actually 160 of those, so there's 160 plants in there and then 80 in there, so half. So you see how much room the cell block saves? That's wild. But yeah, here's some cucumbers, some stuff I'm doing, cantaloupe. There's Bob Ross. Bye, y'all.